I did pull some strings, okay? I really pride myself in being able to make those things happen. So we do have him here to come out and to sign this contract.
Okay. Do I need to sign it?
Connor? A 3-time MMA world champion, a UFC fan favorite, a family man. He could knock you out, pick you up, and give you a motivational speech in the same breath. Not a negative thing to say about this guy, because let's be real. He could fold me like a freaking lawn chair. Michael Chandler.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm great, dude.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Good. Can I get you a drink?
I'll do a water.
Okay.
I'll do a water.
Forgot. Locked in.
We're locked
Always
in.
locked in.
We're locked in.
When was the first time that you knew that you wanted to fight people for a living?
August of 2009.
Oh, you know the day.
Well, I had never been in a fight before, and I wrestled with 2 guys at Mizzou. I
At the
graduated at Mizzou.
Oh, Mizzou. I thought you said at Mizzou. Sorry.
At Mizzou.
Okay.
Graduated in May of 2009, and then fought my first fight in August, and I've been trying it ever since.
And were you a wrestler in college? Is that
Wrestled
true?
in college,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Let's go.
At Mizzou.
Was that what you went to school for? Or I mean, as like sport?
Yeah, well, pretty much. I walked on to the University of Missouri. So I
Okay.
was like, they didn't really want me, but I wanted to go there, so I walked on. And then I started fighting. And I've been doing hand-to-hand combat since 2009.
In August.
So, August.
Let's
At
go.
Lake of the Ozarks in front of like 50 people.
Wow. And it was a real fight.
A real fight. In a cage at a Holiday Inn ballroom
Wow.
in front of like 50 people.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, for those of us who haven't been in a fight, what does it feel like to punch someone? Follow-up question, to punch.
Some you can really feel the impact, and some you don't feel anything.
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline, yeah. I mean, you really don't feel anything when you're inside the octagon. Like, unfortunately, sometimes I wish I felt a little bit more pain because then
So
I
you
would
know
probably
how
I'd probably be a little bit more smart. But since you just feel the impact, but you don't feel any pain, you just walk through shots. But I've had some where like your hand hurts because you feel the big impact, and then somewhere it's like the sweet spot on a baseball bat where it's kind of like you don't feel anything at all, and then you look down and they're on the ground.
If you punch someone mid-punch while they're punching your punch, that's punching them. Is that a double punch or a counter punch? Or do both punches cancel each other out?
I think both punches cancel each other out, but definitely.
Have you ever
Dangerous.
punched someone's punch
I
in a
don't-
fight by
I
an
don't-
accident?
I don't think so, but that would be pretty tough.
Would that be a point?
Because it would be, imagine it's like a head-on collision, like a car. Like a car driving 20 miles an hour hits a wall, that's 20 miles an hour to impact, but 220s equal 40.
Simple
Right?
math.
So it'd be like,
Gosh.
probably break a hand. Even
Would
worse.
that count as a, would they count? Or
I
would
think
that
it
be
would-
or that just point-wise just be kind of,
I think it would be canceled out.
yeah. I feel like that
But
makes
I've
sense.
never even thought about that ever.
Oh, you already know what time it is. It's part of the show where we read questions that the kids send in, yeah.
This is now one of our favorite segments.
Okay.
Okay, we have kids that write into the show.
Okay.
They ask questions to our guests. Now, this is a unique one because you're not just a fighter, but you are a pretty motivational man. And we're gonna see if you can, give them some advice, some overall motivation on, the situations they find themselves in everyday life.
Okay.
Right, Michael, first one for you.
And I got to read this.
Yeah,
Ian, age 9,
age 9.
from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
I've been getting bullied at school. What do I do? It's a very, very good question. And me and my son have talked about this a little bit because he's at the age now where everyone's kind of trying to find out the hierarchy of life and what they can get away with. And some people at home don't exactly know how to express their emotions, so they say things. Like my son Hap is really good at expressing himself with his words and doesn't have to over say anything mean, right?
Yeah.
But some people don't have that at home. Like I said, my son's 8 years old. I'm almost 40. It's a lot easier for me to understand that because I've seen it play out so many times. But Ian, who's 9 years old, I would say the best thing you can do is walk away and brush it off, like water off a duck's back, so the bully knows that it did not hurt your feelings. And then when they realize they can't get a reaction out of you, then they'll move on to someone else. Not that we want them to move on to someone else. We would love if bullies stop bullying, but
Maybe.
that's the best thing you can do.
All right, let's go.
what
All
I
right,
think.
Ian, you heard it. All right. Okay, yeah, this one you.
All right, we got Cody, age 7, from Seattle, Washington. All right. Last night, my daddy took away my iPad. Now I am mad at him. Can you please punch him to death?
Gosh, Cody.
Cody, I cannot. Number one, I don't want to do that at all.
Yeah, I
Number
agree.
2, I think you should
Brush it off.
You should probably brush that
Do the
one
duck's
off as
back
well.
thing.
Water off the duck's back, and your daddy took your iPad away. You probably deserve to get it taken away,
probably a
maybe.
reason
So
for
we
that.
probably should maybe look in the mirror and find out why. And also, I don't want to punch your daddy at all.
Let's go. That's wise.
That's wise.
That's wise. All right. Got 2 more here. This guy.
All right.
Kids really appreciate this, by the way.
Yeah. Gracie, age 11, Houston, Texas.
Gracie.
Dear Mr. Chandler, last night I attempted a Peruvian necktie choke on my brother's cat after watching your highlight reel. My dad's a huge fan, by the way. Anyways, the cat's been asleep for like 12 hours straight. I think I messed it up. I feel like a failure, and I'm starting to question if I have what it takes to be a fighter.
Dang. Can relate to the failure part.
Yeah, the failure part. So Gracie put the cat in a Peruvian necktie, and they've been asleep for 12 hours. That's a tough spot. I don't know if the cat's alive.
Unfortunately,
we should probably think about whether or not the cat is alive or not.
Yeah.
We should probably.
I don't think cats sleep that long.
No, 12 hours is a long
Gracie.
time.
Sorry. Sorry about that. All right, this is our last one here as well.
All right, Duke, age 25.
A little bit old.
Little
to
bit
get in there,
old.
but it must be important.
Hi, Michael. I'd really appreciate your advice on a purely hypothetical situation. Let's say, hypothetically, I was the host of a show. And let's also say the hypothetical cameraman has also been really getting on my nerves. Nice guy, totally fine human being, but something about his face just feels extremely punchable. I can't sleep at night, Michael. I lay awake imagining how good it would feel to go jab, jab, right hook, uppercut, jab, uppercut, 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 right into his hypothetical face. Hypothetically, of course, what should I do? Obviously, in a purely hypothetical manner, not in real life, because there's no way that sounds like it would be something that would happen in real life. I think you should probably just go for it, especially if the cameras are not rolling,
Yeah.
especially if the microphones are not rolling, and especially if there's not many witnesses around.
Yeah, just why not?
I would do that.
Okay.
Duke, I would do that.
Duke. He appreciates that.
I'm sure he
If
does.
I could tell him about your answer, he would appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm sure that helps those kids a lot.
Uh-huh.
On the topic of motivation, what drives you to do what you do?
I'm not really supposed to be here. Like I was a small guy from a small town who was taught to do small things, and I was told many, many times that the things that I was pursuing, I wasn't necessarily going to be great at, or I was really, it was going to take a lot of work that a lot of them didn't think I'd be able to do. And so I think now it's not proving anybody wrong. It's more just proving myself right.
Is there a famous quote or something that you are like, you live by or that you hold on to? I know you post a lot of motivational, quotes and stuff on your social media, but is there one that just kind of stands out to you? Or?
Gosh, there's so many, man.
There was one I saw on your social media recently that really stood out to me, and it was about barking dogs. You know what I'm talking about? I would love to just play the clip and then get your thoughts on it. Maybe unpack it for me a little bit.
Okay.
You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks. Think about it. You're walking down a path. You're walking towards your dreams. You're walking towards your goals. And there's dogs everywhere. And you trust those dogs. Like deep down soul level type trust. Like if one of those dogs looked you right in the eyes and said, "Follow me," you'd leave your job. You'd leave your family. You'd leave the crock pot full of your wife's chili behind. Still warm. Still bubbling with that little kick of habanero she adds when she's feeling confident. And you'd follow that dog into the woods. No questions asked. Because that dog knows something. That dog's seen things I can't even tell nobody. Things you can't unsee. But it didn't stop there. You went deeper. into the woods, past the trail, past the moss, past the part where GPS says you're on your own, boss. And the dogs, they follow too. All of them. Big dogs, little dogs, hot dogs, like literal hot dogs, walking upright with buns and mustard and tiny little timberlands. And together, you built a society, a nation of bark and honor, of loyalty and discipline. And every night, while sitting in your doggy war room sipping doggy Johnny Walker, they look to you. Leader of the pack, alpha of the free, president of the United Strays of America. Because you followed, because you trusted, because you studied, because you didn't stop to throw stones at barking dogs.
That was,
It's amazing.
it was very good. I can't
Can you
believe
unpack that for me?
Oh, that's almost impossible to unpack.
I feel like there's a lot of metaphors in there.
A lot of
that you
metaphors.
talk- Was
Well,
that, was
the
just that off the
president-
cuff or
Yeah.
for you? Or?
Well, I've always thought about becoming the president of the United Strays of America.
It's a pretty big deal.
It's a pretty big deal. It's like literal hot dogs
That's a
walking upright.
that's crazy. I mean, you saw. Is that a metaphor? Or did you see all that?
I was a vision.
A
I think
vision.
it was a vision. So
Yeah.
I think you first have to see it to visualize it, and then
It's a mindset.
then
thing.
and only then can it happen in real life. That's what I've kind of
Mindset.
always said about dogs.
And I feel like all the training, all the build up, everything you sacrifice. I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah.
What's a favorite moment for you, like fight moment that just really stood out?
Probably the highlight of it of my entire career was I was in the UFC. It was my second or third fight. It was my first fight that my son Hap went to, and he was in the crowd for the first time, which was a little bit of extra pressure. And then I ended up kicking Tony Ferguson in the face. He got knocked out, knockout of the year. I ran up, jumped on the cage, and I like beat on my chest, and I was like, "Where's my son?" and then they
Dang,
grabbed
dude.
him and they brought him over and they put him over and I kissed him and he was like, look, he was like, my face had like a black eye and I was all sweaty and stuff. So it was like a really cool father-son moment in front of all the millions of people.
That's pretty epic.
That was probably the best one.
Gosh, dude. Your testosterone probably went through the roof in that moment.
Oh yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah.
dude.
You get that knockout.
I know there's a moment that you've been, waiting for a long time and anticipating. So let's talk about Conor McGregor. What happened? Because I know you guys were supposed to fight, correct?
Yeah, we're supposed to fight June of the last year. So what are we in right now? May. So we're like almost a year removed from him pulling out of the fight, International Fight Week. I decided I wasn't going to wait anymore, so I fought after that. But yeah, we did the Ultimate Fighter, and he broke his pinky toe. So it was at this point, if you asked me if I was a betting man, is the fight going to happen? I'm 50-50 on it. If he comes back, he's fighting me. If he never comes back, no big deal. I'll keep fighting other guys.
Okay.
But it's a fight that the fans want to see. It's a fight that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
One of the most entertaining guys to ever step inside of an octagon. He's the biggest name in the UFC, the biggest name in combat sports in general. We have the Ultimate Fighter, we have the build-up, we have the fight itself makes sense. So if he comes back or when he comes back, he'll fight me, and it'll be the biggest pay-per-view that we've seen in a very long time.
Let's go. Well, I agree. And I don't mean to brag about myself, but people do say that I'm the guy who makes things happen. If they have something, that they need to make happen. So I did pull some strings, okay? And I was able to get Conor to actually come out to sign the contract. Okay. And, I really pride myself in being able to make those things happen. So we do have him here to come out and to sign this contract.
Okay. Do I need to sign it?
Conor?
You wanted McGregor on the air, baby. Yeah, the contract.
Lefty.
Your turn, big boy. Let's make it happen.
When are we doing it?
Anytime, anywhere you choose.
Just so we can, remember, what we did here today. I feel like we motivated some kids. We lined up, big fight for you.
I'm glad we finally got that booked.
So maybe to remember it, I got shirts made for us, some matching shirts. And I figured that we could, just so we can remember together. Oh, dude, they freaking spelt the name wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Is that
that's,
wrong?
That's right.
Is it? Michael Chan?
Yeah, that looks just.
Oh, they forgot the L.
Yeah, they forgot.
Oh, dude, they forgot the hair too.
Pretty for everything. Pretty much everything.
They forgot pretty everything important.
Holy cow, dude.
Dang, that's I mean,
That is great.
This one
No,
is,
thank you.
That one's you.
This one's me.
This one's me.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'll tell you
great,
what.
man.
I'll be wearing this at the McGregor fight.
That is great.
100%.
Look
then-
at that, man.
You can get up on the cage after you win. You can say, "Where's Luke?"
Where
And I'll
is
say,
Luke?
Point out the shirt.
Where
go.
is Luke?